In war, everything is counted. Every bullet. Every boot. Every soldier. So what would you say if I told you that during World War II, Allied command kept sending fuel, ammunition, medical kits, and food to a military base that, officially did not exist? No coordinates. No unit number. No commanding officer on record. And yet, for more than 2 years, supplies were signed for, approved, and delivered. Even after the war was declared over. Tonight, this is the story of the war that never stopped receiving supplies, and the soldiers who may have been erased while still holding the line. In early 1943, Allied logistics officers in southern Italy were drowning in paperwork. By that point in the war, supply chains had become massive living machines. Trains moved day and night. Cargo ships crossed the Mediterranean under constant threat of U-boats. Clerks tracked everything with carbon paper, stamps, and signatures. And that's where the first problem appeared. A routine audit flagged a repeated shipment heading to a location marked only as Forward Resupply Node, Echo. No country. No base number. No map reference. At first, nobody panicked. Wartime paperwork was messy. Units moved. Names changed. Clerks made mistakes. But Echo kept appearing. Every 6 weeks, ammunition crates, aviation fuel barrels, medical morphine kits, cold weather uniforms. Each delivery was signed. Each approval bore authentic officer credentials. Yet when junior officers tried to locate Echo on official maps, it wasn't there. Not in Italy. Not in France. Not in North Africa. One officer reportedly joked, either someone's stealing half the war, or we're feeding ghosts. By mid-1943, questions were escalated. Requests were sent to regional commands asking for clarification on Echo. The replies were strange. One memo stated, Echo is operational. Continue supply schedule. Do not alter frequency. No explanation. Another message added a handwritten note, Echo is not to be discussed outside logistics. That was unusual. Logistics was supposed to be boring, transparent, and predictable. Secrecy belonged to intelligence units, not supply clerks. Still, the shipments continued. Truck drivers later recalled something unsettling. They would drive into mountainous terrain under escort. Orders instructed them to stop at a specific stretch of road, unload supplies, and leave immediately. No salutes. No conversations. Some drivers claimed they saw figures in standard Allied uniforms watching from tree lines, never close enough to identify faces. Others said no one appeared at all, yet the supplies were always gone by morning. In May 1945, the war in Europe officially ended. Celebrations erupted across Allied territory. Units stood down. Bases closed. Supply lines shut off. Except Echo. In June 1945, a full shipment was processed. In August, another. September. November. Clerks began refusing to sign the orders. That's when a classified directive arrived. Stamped with high-level authorization, it read. Echo is to remain supplied until further notice. Do not send personnel. Supplies only. That single line, do not send personnel, would later haunt everyone who read it. Decades later, historians would piece together what Echo likely was. Echo wasn't a mistake. It was a deception unit. During World War II, Allied command created ghost divisions, fake airfields, and phantom radio traffic to confuse enemy intelligence. Echo appears to have been something more extreme. A real unit, placed deliberately off the books. No official existence. No legal recognition. Why? If captured, they couldn't reveal anything. If lost, they wouldn't officially exist. They were meant to hold terrain, relay false signals, and mislead enemy movements, quietly and indefinitely. The price of secrecy was identity. When the war ended, paperwork systems automatically shut down recognized units. ECHO wasn't recognized. So it wasn't shut down. In 1972, during a NATO archival consolidation, a civilian clerk stumbled onto a sealed logistics file. Inside were original World War II-era supply receipts. Same base. Same signatures. But something was wrong. Some dates extended years beyond 1945. And at the bottom of the file, a handwritten note. They are still holding. No explanation. No follow-up. The file was quietly reclassified. The clerk was reassigned. No investigation was ever publicly announced. There are three prevailing theories. 1. ECHO was quietly extracted, and the supply orders were never formally cancelled. 2. ECHO was abandoned, and the supply chain continued blindly until discovered. 3. The most unsettling, that ECHO never received the stand-down order. That somewhere, in forgotten terrain, soldiers waited, following orders that never came. War doesn't just kill with bullets. It erases. If ECHO existed, those soldiers had no medals. No graves. No names in history books. They were loyal enough to obey. Invisible enough to be forgotten. World War II is remembered through numbers. But some things were never counted. Some bases were never mapped. And some soldiers may have never officially existed at all. If you believe history should remember even the erased, subscribe for more untold war stories. Because some wars don't end when the guns go silent. They end when the truth is finally told.